This session is called directory submissions. And in this session, you're going to be learning about how you can use directory submissions for SEO because some of them do actually pass really good link authority. However, you're also going to be learning about which directories to avoid because some of them can get you into a little bit of trouble. So as you've been learning in a lot of our other videos, SEO, especially off-page optimization, is all about link authority. And web directories can pass really, really good link authority, and they can actually drive some referral traffic. But by submitting your site to relevant, high-quality directories, you can really get a decent boost in your SEO performance because you are going to get good link authority. Another great thing about directories is that you are diversifying your overall link profile, which is a really good thing to do. You know, getting links from guest posts and social media and directories, having your link profile very diverse is really good, and directories is a great way to do that. Another great thing about directories is that they can drive a really great deal of referral traffic. If it's a very relevant directory and your target audience is using this directory, they can find you that way, and you'll notice that it's going to drive a lot of traffic. And of course, if you're curious if you're getting traffic from directories, take a look at our video on Google Analytics and how to track refers and things like that. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're working for a local business, a business that actually has a brick and mortar store somewhere, local directories like Yelp and Google Places are great ways to get some traffic that way. However, submitting to the wrong directories can not only just be a waste of your time, they can actually really damage your SEO performance. They can cause some really serious harm. And we're going to be talking a lot about that because we definitely don't want that to happen to you. So the first thing to understand, to really touch on that point, is that all directories are not created equal. You're going to really have to be careful when we're looking at directories here. And there's some interesting research that's been done around web directories, and it turns out that about 20% of all of the directories out there are actually banned by Google. And if you're in one of those directories, it will seriously hurt you because that link is doing so much harm. Being linked to from a banned site is just absolutely terrible. So you definitely need to be careful. You don't want to go submitting to just any old directory. And, most of us wouldn't even think of that. We'd think, okay, we can submit to as many directories as we want. What's the harm in just being part of a directory? Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. You can really, really get into some serious trouble. And Google keeps an eye on a lot of directories that are for SEO purposes only, because they look at that as spam. You're just getting in this directory, not for users. There's no real value here. You're just doing it for a link. So any SEO specific web directories are pretty much just going to get you into trouble. And what ends up happening is the majority of the sites that use those directories are very low quality because they know I'm just doing this for a link. So people throw a bunch of low quality listings into these directory farms. And so Google can look at that and say, pretty much everything in here is going to be junk. So you don't want to be associated with that junk. So it's easy for Google to look at that, devalue it, penalize it, the whole thing. So we don't want you involved in any of that kind of stuff. In the other link building videos we've been talking about getting links from high authority sites can pull you up and really boost your authority. Well, low authority sites can knock you down, and directory submissions are a prime example of that if done wrong. So let's talk about what to do. Let's talk about the 3 key types of directories that you'll want to submit to, because these are going to be the ones that are going to pass good link authority. They're going to have good traffic to those directories, so you're going to be likely to get a lot of traffic from them, referral traffic. So there's 3 types that I want to look at today. The first of which is authoritative directories. Now, these are the guys that have been around for a really long time, and there's been a lot of SEO tests done. And these guys, when you get a link, it's one of those links that you're going to be really happy that you had because it's a high value link. Yahoo directory, that's been around for a really long time, and SEOs have done a lot of tests, and getting a link from Yahoo directory is fantastic. It does cost a couple $100 a year. I don't know the exact price at the recording of this video. It changes a little bit. So take a look at Yahoo directory, and if you have it in the budget, definitely do that. Business.com is very similar, very, very high authority directory. And you're going to want to be on there if you can. It does cost a little money as well. Best of the Web is a fantastic directory, another high authority, as well as DMOZ, also called the Open Directory Project. DMOZ is a little bit odd because it is free, and you can submit to it, but the chances of getting included are actually kind of low. The people that run the directory, they get to it when they get to it, and hopefully you can submit and be included, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Okay, so the second type of directory that I really want to look at here is the local directories. And even if you're not a brick and mortar local based business that has a storefront, these are still really great directories to be in. You've got Google Places, which is fantastic, local.com and Yelp, as well as Patch, which seems to be getting very popular lately. I love Patch. I definitely look at that. Getting involved in these local and also social directories, most of these directories have comments and reviews. So these are ones that you're going to want to be involved in. Submit yourself to these sites. Keep track of your reviews, respond to negative reviews, be involved, all that stuff. And if you are dealing with, a business that has a storefront, then this is a really, really great source of traffic, because when people do searches and they're in your town, Google knows where they're searching from. And for example, I'm in Santa Cruz, California. If someone searches for best dog trainer in Santa Cruz, it's going to show local results. And the first ones they're going to show are the ones that have Google Places accounts. So if you're dealing with any sort of local type business, definitely be sure to include yourself in as many of these as you can. Now, lastly, are the niche specific directories. These are ones that vary so much that I couldn't possibly give you any examples. So the best thing that you'd want to do is just go to Google and do a search for your market web directory, dog training web directory, auto mechanic web directory, any type of market with web directory or directory after it. You're going to find handfuls of these web directories that are specific to your business, to your niche, to your customers, things like that. Take a look at those and look at the content, look at how often it's updated. And if it looks like a good directory, go ahead and submit yourself to it, because it's really, really great to be part of these niche specific directories. So now I want to talk about another 3 things. And these are the 3 things that you absolutely need to avoid at all costs when submitting to directories. This is where you're going to get into trouble. So that we've looked at the things you're going to want to do. Here's the things you're going to not want to do. The first of which is automation. Completely avoid any automated directory submission services. There's a ton of stuff out there that says they're going to, submit your site to this many directories per month or 1,000 directories all at once or any of this stuff. None of that stuff works, and you don't really have control over what directories you're getting submitted to. That's where you're going to be running the risk of getting submitted to one of those 20% that Google is penalizing, and it might really end up hurting you. So definitely avoid automation. We've talked a little bit about automation in other videos when talking about SEO. In general, any sort of SEO tactic that's automated is something to be avoided. That's one of those red flag words that you just want to avoid. So same is true here with directory submission services. Definitely stay away from that stuff. The second are SEO directories. Any specific directory that is all about SEO value. And I don't mean if you are an SEO, there are, SEO Moz and all these directories where you can be a part of the SEO community. That's not what I mean. I mean a directory full of different types of websites where the directory blatantly says, submit to our directory because it's good for SEO. If that happens, Google is well aware of it and they're going to devalue it immediately because they're not creating something valuable to users. Google wants to create value to its users and to its searchers and relevant results. And any of these tricks, any of these things where people are just submitting something just purely for SEO value, they're going to devalue it. And like I said, even worst case scenario, they're going to penalize you for it. So anytime you're looking at a directory and it really talks about their SEO potential, just go ahead and skip that one. It's probably not worth it. So the next thing is about submitting too quickly. This is actually a little bit more of a link building issue, not necessarily directory submissions, but it's really important. I wanted to bring it up. When you submit to any directories, build other high quality links at the same time. So don't just, spend a month submitting to directories and don't do any other link building. It's better to spread that submission out over 6 months while you do other types of link building. So some people will submit to directories first. They'll, find 10 directories, submit to all 10, and then go work on other high authority links. That's fine. What I just don't want you to do is spend too much time on directories and not enough time building other high authority links. So make directories a part of your link building, but don't spend all your time on it. And make sure that you're spreading it out over time and working in other links too, because a site that just has directory links isn't going to have a whole lot of authority. Make sure you're going out there and guest posting and doing other social media stuff to get good high quality links as well. Okay, so in conclusion, when done properly, directory submissions can be great. They're a great tool for SEO. But be careful. Make sure you're not doing anything automated. Make sure you're doing other good link building at the same time. Look for niche specific directories, local directories, those high authority directories we talked about. And really, if you focus on those high authority and local directories and then avoid things that are automated, you're going to be fine. You're going to do great. I did want to give you one other last little piece of information, which is if you do a quick Google search for SEO Moz, SEOMOZ, web directories, they compiled a spreadsheet full of web directories, and they actually list ones that they know have been banned. So if you've already done some directory submissions and you're worried that maybe one of those ones was a little sketchy, take a look at SEO Moz web directories. They've got a great resource there. They show you which ones have been banned, and if you're on those ones, you can go ahead and remove yourself. Also, you can find some niche specific directories. I think part of the service might be paid, unfortunately, but it's something that's definitely worth looking into. So I wanted to let you know about that.